Hi, I'm Melanie from Ted Brown Music in Silverdale, and I'm here to talk to you about some mutes. Specifically, I'll stick to trumpet because it's, light and easy to work with right now. But of course, this is applicable to all brass instruments. So let's give you an idea of what a trumpet sounds like without a mute. Sounds like a trumpet, right? Okay, well, let's move on. We'll start off with a straight mute because that's the most common mute. This is a stone-lined mute by Humes and Berg. And what you'll see is that it has cork that is kind of spaced out, so it allows the sound to go around the mute as well. And that's important because I'll mention that later on with a different kind of mute that doesn't have the same property. So here's the straight mute. As you'll see, it kind of has, kind of a nasally sound almost. So that's the stone lined. There's different kinds of straight mutes. There's kind of aluminum blend that we'll talk about. It just has a different sound that people prefer or don't prefer in some cases. So you see it does sound a little bit different. Then, a lot of companies, they offer a bronze tipped mute. And it offers sort of a warmer tone, and it's not only for straight mutes that they offer this, but I'll give you an example with the straight mute. You can almost hear the warmer tone. So I'll move on to the cup mute. The cup mute, as the name says, it goes around the bell of the mute and cups it, of the trumpet, and mutes it. So this is a Joe Rawl mute, and what's cool about it is it's a tritone, so it has 3 different qualities it could have. So that's without any layers at all. That's a cup mute, and the cool thing about cup mutes is that it offers a more muffled sound. It gets rid of the higher and the lower frequencies. So I'm going to add 1 layer to this cup mute of the soft that Joe Rawl offers. And it sounds a little softer. And then, again, we can add 1 more layer and it'll get even softer. And then again, it'll suppress kind of the lower and higher frequencies of the trumpet. So you see, every time we add a layer, it gets a little softer. And of course, I have this other one there for the trombone, and cup mutes are used for trombones as well and other brass instruments. They're the second most used mute typically. So we'll move on to the bucket mute. There's a couple different kinds. There's a kind that clip on like this. This is actually a trombone mute. And then there's a kind that goes into the bell. It'll also muffle the tone and get rid of the higher and lower frequencies, and also provides kind of a different tone. You've heard them in kind of big band and cocktail jazz kind of situations. So it definitely has a cocktail feel. There's different preferences to the clip-on versus the in-mute. This one kind of has a little bit more back pressure, and it also is a little bit slower to change out. But people prefer the different sound for clip-on or bucket. It's just really your preference. So finally, we get to our wah-wah mute, which is kind of the most fun. This is what I was talking about, in that the cork actually goes all the way around. Instead of, in these situations, it's kind of spaced out, so the sound isn't fully enveloped by the mute. Whereas this one, the cork goes all the way around, so it forces the sound to go into the mute. And you'll notice definitely a difference. Miles Davis played on a wah-wah mute without the stopper in it. And you'll see that, or stem I should say. So you can hear how the sound is all in the mute, which is kind of fun and interesting. Now here we'll put in the stem, and this is the wah-wah you're used to hearing. They use that in cartoons and fun things where, it's a fun and cheesy sound. The last thing I want to show you is kind of a cool option. It's called the silent brass. So the neat thing about this is it muffles your tone while you're in a small situation, so like a dorm room, an apartment, or even a house where you just don't want your neighbors to hear you playing. And then it goes into your mute, you put in some headphones, and you can actually play along with an MP3 player, which I just think is just the coolest thing. So that's kind of all about mutes for now, and it was great talking to you.